evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. I am Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for Connect with Comfort show. On this program, we aim to add value to people on business, enterprise, and personal growth. Each show is organized to feature guests who are subject matter experts that helps us to throw more insight on the topic of the day. I'm glad you are able to join us today. You are most welcome. Today, our topic aims beyond survival. Hence, the subject of discussion is business markup, elevating value, scaling visibility, multiplying impact. The title itself is more than just a phrase, it is a call to action. It speaks to the essence of what it means to grow, to thrive, and to leave a mark in today's increasingly competitive and complex marketplace. In a world where consumers are bombarded with choices, businesses can no longer compete on price alone. Value creation, not just in products or services, but in relationships, reputation, and reliability, is now the ultimate currency. Visibility, once a mere marketing concern, has evolved into strategic presence, and impact, not just profit, is the true measure of sustainable success. This platform is an opportunity for us to reflect deeply on how we position our businesses and not just to exist, but to excel as well. To ask the hard questions: are we truly adding value or just adding noise? Are we visible for the right reasons? Is our impact multiplying or just maintaining? As we engage today with our special guest, I encourage us all to be open minded. We should be open to challenge, open to insight, and open to change, because elevating value, scaling visibility, and multiplying impact will demand more than strategy. It will require innovation, courage, and community. So, once again, I would like to thank you for being here with us. And thank you also for choosing to be part of this show as well as this conversation. So, let us mark up not just our prices, but our purpose, our performance, and our potential. This we will know how to do better when we come back from this short break. Please remain connected. We will be right back. Thank you.
Being relevant in your field of occupation is proof that you are properly educated. When my parents and I were thinking about my university education, Bowen University Iwo was our first choice. Bowen University helps you to get the most of whatever course you're studying and also educates you on how to excel in a competitive labor market. From the day I arrived here, I knew when I would graduate, and my mind has been positively transformed since then, thanks to my able lecturers. My name is Salumi. I am a medical student, a sanctuary keeper, and a violinist at Bowen University. To the medical world, remember my name.
Bowen University, for excellence and godliness.
You are welcome back. Our guest is already in the house patiently waiting for us. Today on Connect with Comfort Show, I have the pleasure to introduce our special guest for today. Our special guest is no other than Olushola Aromokun. I hope I pronounced that well.
Not bad, man.
Thank you. Olushola is a marketing and technology strategist whose work explores the nexus of culture, innovation, and social impact. He is the managing director of Web Coopers Consulting. He played a key role in developing Google's digital skills for Africa, a foundational program that empowered over 5 million youths and later evolved into the global Grow with Google initiative. Previously, as Nigeria country manager for the non-profit NABU, he advanced children's literacy by promoting culturally relevant books in their mother tongue. Please join me in making welcome our special guest for today. So
Thank
that
you,
you are
man.
most welcome to Connect
Thank you,
with
man.
Comfort
It's a pleasure
Show.
being here. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
my pleasure, man.
for availing us your time on a Sunday evening and being
Yeah,
ready to share part of your vast experience with our audience. Thank you very much.
the pleasure is all mine, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So without much delay, we go straight to the first question that wants to examine how we can elevate value, and that is, what does value mean in today's business environment, and how can it be redefined beyond pricing?
Hmm. So, in today's Nigeria, value goes beyond just a cheap price, right? It's about the total experience. So, think convenience, think Uber, previously GoCarda, think reliability, think exceptional customer service, and even the emotional connection that a brand fosters. It's about solving a real problem efficiently and sustainably for a customer. Packing and just thinking about convenience, reliability, exceptional customer service, we can think about different brands that we've interacted with and different businesses. Yesterday, I think in a business group, people were talking about how they were asking if it's the DNA of certain restaurants to be rude to their customers, and they were mentioning brands, But in the at the heart of the conversation was that these guys actually had really, really good product, but very, very bad customer service. So it's the totality of these things: convenience, reliability, exceptional customer service, and even the emotional connection that brand fosters over time. So that's value, not just money.
Thank you very much. And this brings to bear the next question. In what ways can businesses transform their products or services to deliver premium value without inflating costs?
Hmm. The short answer and the escapist answer is to to put their customers at the center of it. But what does that mean? Focusing on enhancing key teach touch points. Streamline processes to reduce wait times. Offer personalized experiences if your service or your product that type is not mass market. Leverage technology for efficiency. We saw star 737 for GT Bank was innovative and groundbreaking. So USSD for payments for your customers, WhatsApp for support. These tools already exist, and then empower staff for better service. Staff onboarding training is very very important. It's part of the entire experience and the value chain. And then smart differentiation. It doesn't mean higher prices. It also means smarter operations. So all of these things combined, and many of the tools, many of the examples we need to borrow to deliver premium value already exist. I've mentioned some of them. You can use USSD for payment gateway, Paystack, Flutterwave. You can use WhatsApp for support. WhatsApp Business has extensive, support baked in. You have labels on WhatsApp Business. You can put your catalog. You can put your prices. You have auto response messages and all of that. Yeah. So those are some of the ways you can deliver premium value without inflating costs.
Very, very true. Now, how does a clear value proposition influence, like we have borrowed all this and we have imbibed the culture? So, how does that
Mm.
influence customer loyalty and brand differentiation?
In marketing, we say communities build brands. So how do you build, a uh, loyalty to call them a community? So a clear, value proposition tells customers why they should choose you. And it's not just saying, it's just not proposing the value. It's not just the value proposition. You need to stay true to it, right? They need to say it. It's not just saying it. So in a crowded Nigerian market, you know, clear value proposition cuts through the noise. And then when customers understand your unique benefits, they are most likely to trust you. They'll return and they will even advocate for your brand. I know I do it. I have brands I'm loyal to, even the owner. I don't know the owners, and this makes you stand out from competitors. There are brands I will recommend anytime, any day when people are looking for, services like that, or I don't know the owners. I just believe that the value proposition is true because they stay true to it, and I've experienced it. So a clear value proposition tells customers why they should choose you, but internally with your team, you need to imbibe the ethos of the value proposition.
I think
Yeah.
that comes very clear. But with all this, how can small businesses like SMEs, small medium enterprise, or even the startup, those who are just starting and new, elevate value in markets that are dominated by these large corporations?
So the advantages to being small, one, you make mistakes quickly, you can pivot easily, but SMEs can really win big by being agile. You're nimble, your operations are, they're not, you don't have bureaucratic processes, and then of course deeply understanding your niche local needs, right? There are blind spots that the big corporations have because they are now so big that they don't understand the local needs, right? What's in music, they'll say streets, you're connected to the street, right? So offering highly personalized service that large corporations can replicate. Number one, it might be the value to the big corporation might be too little, or they're not nimble enough to just do that. And then building strong community ties, like I said, communities build brands, and then authenticity and direct engagement are powerful value drivers for smaller players any day, anytime. So these are some of the ways SMEs can win in a market dominated by large corporations.
So hope it's not lost. You don't
No,
have
no.
to fret that
It-
you have to compete with big players. You carve a
no,
niche for
no.
yourself, and
Yes, covering
there are
choice.
areas they also cannot come down because of
Yes,
economies of scale. Okay,
yes.
that's good. Now we've talked much about value, and we know value also helps us with visibility. So if we're looking at scaling visibility, what strategies can businesses adopt to increase visibility in a crowded digital space? We already know that that's the space we are in now. Everything is becoming digitalized.
Yeah, so with digital, you don't there's no excuse for not understanding your customers deeply and understanding the digital platforms you want to use. Beyond just posting, businesses need to create valuable content that resonates with Nigerians. Think relatable stories, practical tips, or entertaining shorts. You saw it with there's a blender, there's a very popular blender, Buchi Mix, right? So they used a lot of influencers, chefs, local cooks, doing innovative things, sometimes totally outrageous things. We would laugh at them and all that, then we would buy the blender. And then most times we found out the blender was much more powerful, much more silent, and even way cheaper than the foreign, So they demonstrated local knowledge, and they created content that resonated with Nigerians. So localized search engine optimization, even with this is changing in the age of AI. So just staying abreast of it. And then engaging on relevant social platforms and leveraging influencers with genuine audience connection are key. So look at your industry, look at influencers that are already telling stories that match, the kind of customers you're looking at. Don't be selling cars and then you're looking at influencers that are doing sports unless you can find a connection, and then you understand that your target market is also interested in sports as much as they're interested in cars, you know. So that is very important.
Good. In your response, you mentioned something about storytelling. How does this storytelling contribute to brand visibility and positioning?
So with brand storytelling, some people say content marketing, all of that. There are a couple of reasons why you're in business, anyways. One of them will say, higher purpose, I want to do this for humanity, or it started as, I need to feed my family, I need to make money, right? There's a story somewhere. So Nigerians connect deeply with stories. We like stories. We like to mind other people's business. So we lean into that. So storytelling humanizes your brand. It evokes emotion and makes your message memorable. It also allows you to showcase your purpose, right? Like I mentioned, higher purpose and personal. Your journey so far, sometimes I think Jason Unjoku used to do this thing, or Viroko used to do this thing where he would talk about, the business, the money they're losing, their wins, and it deeply humanized the journey and himself because it was seen as a brutal entrepreneur, but it showed other sides of the business and even himself. And then it also helps you showcase the impact you're making, right? And it positions you as more than just a vendor, but a trusted partner. People feel like they know you. There's a saying that people don't buy from business; they buy from the story that the business tells. So Nigerians connect deeply with stories. It's very very important to tell your story to humanize your brand.
Thank you. I know in part of your responses you've mentioned how people use influencer in the marketplace. So, in addition to using influencer, how does partnership or collaboration help in growing your business or scaling the business visibility?
So in especially this is especially true for marketing, right? Um, you have a limited reach because you don't have an inelastic budget, right? So where your reach stop, Naim, you go look for other reach. So what I mean is,
Where your money
yes,
stops.
where where your money stop, and the platforms are deliberately designed uh, for you to be limited and then for you to spend money. So Partnerships, collaborations, and influencer marketing are very crucial for extending the reach beyond, what you can do with people that love you and are already following you and stuff. So partnering with complementary businesses or collaborating with authentic Nigerian influencers, please match the influencers to your brand. Make sure there's no disconnect. Uh, Exposes your brand to new relevant audiences who already trust the partner or the influencer. So it's about leveraging existing communities. So so just broadening your reach and your appeal to people that already trust a partner or a collaborator. So they're very crucial for extending reach.
Okay. So there are things we should look out for to leverage,
Definitely.
our reach. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, with all that we have said, what are the metrics or indicators that best reflect a business growing visibility? How do we know if we are on the right track, we are making growth and all that?
Yeah. So on the offline side, ask new customers how they found you. Ask them for feedback on your service. Ask if they will recommend you or they'll tell their friends about you. You can devise tactics and strategies for them to also kind of like advertise and help you bring in more customers. And then digital side, beyond the likes and comments, there are platforms that measure brand health, negative comments and all of that. You can also look at your website traffic. Google Analytics is free. You can tell if you have a website, tell your web developer to embed Google Analytics. It shows you your website traffic, uh, where social referrals, organic search, where your traffic is coming from, so that you can do more to improve those. And then brand mentions across platforms, across social media platforms. Then engagement reach when you post content. So it's not just likes. Are people commenting? Are they interacting? And then increase follower growth. And ultimately, are you converting from all of these efforts? Are you converting what we call new leads? So leads are potential, people that have engaged with your brand that can potentially become customers, you know, whether now or in the future, in the midterm or in on the long run. So these are some of the things you should measure. Avoid what we call table stakes. There are certain things. Oh, they like those are there's even another word for it. Where you're just happy. The vanity metrics, right? Oh, we got 1,000 likes, but it doesn't lead to any lead, right? Oh, every time we post, we get 100,000 likes. Oh, people engage with us, but it doesn't lead to anything. It doesn't lead to new business. It doesn't lead to sales. It doesn't lead to anything for the business. Those are vanity metrics. So the things you're measuring in that instance are totally wrong.
Popularity.
You know, yeah, vanity metrics. Those the things you're measuring being just vain.
Thank you. I think
Mm.
it's best to actually distinguish that. Some people will say they have 10,000 followers. For what? Now,
Yeah.
so how can visibility be scaled without compromising brand integrity or customers' trust?
So authenticity is paramount. Authenticity, be authentic, right? And in being authentic, you need to think top down. What's your brand positioning? What's your brand story? What do you represent? What kind of customers you? What's even down to your tone of voice? How do you attend to customers? These things translate to the kind of content you put out, even in advertising, a lot of all of that. So, scale visibility by consistently delivering on your brand promise. What is your brand promise to start with, right? If you've not done that, you need a sheet of paper. Start taking notes. You can do your research. If you're confused about what this means, right? Just know the term brand promise, and then you Google it, use it here. You'll be able to formulate one, and then communicate this across your organization. So back to authenticity. Don't chase trends or partners that don't align with your values. Transparency in marketing, and also genuinely build trust. Through engagement, even as you grow.
Yeah,
So these are
so
some of the things. Yeah.
it's important. I believe in all this, part of the title of the topic is how we create impact or multiply impact in all we do, both creation of value and scaling visibility. So, how can businesses align their operation to generate both profit and social stroke environmental impact?
This starts with purpose. And what I've also found to be true for many Nigerian businesses, is even when there's purpose and they're positioned for social impact, we don't communicate it or amplify that enough, right? So start with purpose. Businesses can embed social responsibility into their core model, right? Like sourcing locally from rural communities. If you use organic produce, state it to use organic produce. Offer fair wages, or develop eco-friendly products. It's not an add-on, it's how you do business. And if you see, there are a lot of foreign products, they communicate these things. They're not forced to. In some cases, it's regulation, but they put it there. We use eco-friendly products, we use organic products, and some people, for them, is these things are important. They take it to heart. That you use, you pay fair wages, you treat your staff well, you use eco-friendly products, or that the fact that you even source from rural communities. So start with your purpose, but also communicate it. Find ways within your marketing or your comms to state it that, oh, this is what we do. We use ethical products and all of that. So this is how you can align your operations. You generate profit, and then also you achieve your social impact goals.
So, what signs are there for us to know if we are truly multiplying our impact in the market or community?
In
What are the
Nigeria,
signs?
people will say it. So look for tangible changes. Job creation, how many jobs you've created. Because think about it, every adult you're paying is probably supporting like three people. So that multiplier effect is there. I think there's even a formula for calculating that, right? Improve livelihoods for suppliers. You're paying fairly for the goods you're supplying. Community development projects that you're involved with. You don't have to do the entire thing, maybe even just a part of it. And then reduction in environmental footprint if your goods are within, those kind of, parameters, or measurable improvements in the lives of your customers beyond just product use. It's about positive ripple effects. I saw something recently this morning, and it just made me smile. It's a farm in America, so there are a lot of products that they can't take to market because the products look ugly. You know how a carrot just looks funny. So what they do, and there is a huge farm, what they do is they put such kind of products in boxes, and then they open their farm for people to come. And they got over 10,000 people, visit the farm, that even the police had to come. And that was such a nice thing to do. The alternative was to maybe put all the fruit in a compost pit or just trash them, and they did this. They extended it to people, especially in a country that people don't eat fresh fruits and fresh produce like that. Yeah. So it's about the positive ripple effects.
That's quite
Yeah.
genuine. It's good.
Yeah.
So, how does innovation contribute to exponential impact, and what kinds of innovation matters? Because it's not um, every innovation that you say counts.
Yes, so in fact, the one that I'll tell people now is AI is good. AI accelerates a lot. Is innovative, but be careful how you introduce it into your organization. Make sure you take stock of it, and then the one you're introducing. So innovation, and innovation is not limited to just tech, right? Innovation, especially inclusive or frugal innovation, tailored for the Nigerian context, um, can create exponential impact. This could be developing affordable tech solutions or sustainable energy alternatives, using solar for your business instead of generator, or innovative distribution models that reach underserved populations, right? Oh, the road is bad. Can a keke get there to serve people? We've seen the agency model for POS. Now rural areas, there are no issues getting money there. You know, so I mean, those things come with their own challenges too, but there are innovative solutions And I think when with the telcos, then the agency model also helped reach rural areas. So those are innovative distribution models. So yeah.
Fine. How can data and customer feedback be used to refine and multiply business impact?
Hmm. So data doesn't exist for data sakes. Data tells a story. While I'll speak on data, I would also say most times data speaks to what has happened. So don't be too tied to data for like future, your future plans and all that. Let it advise, but not totally define what you're doing. So data reveals what has worked and what did not work. So customer feedback, I think I mentioned asking customers offline how they found you, ask them for feedback and all of that. Same thing with online. So customer feedback highlights unmet needs and customer pain points. Analyzing the information allows businesses to refine their offerings and improve their processes, and also identify new opportunities to create even greater positive change. One of the other things that happen, it's not like we don't gather this data many times. We have this suggestion box, you have, even before the internet. But many of us are so busy with running our businesses with everyday operations that there's no process designed to analyze the customer feedback, to analyze that data, not just customer feedback, analyze that data and then also discuss internally how, you can borrow from the data and the customer feedback to improve your processes. So this is something, even if it's uh, sometime during the week, a day during the week, or 30 minutes per day, just take time out to look at the data. If you don't understand it, get an expert to break it down and tell you what it means and then what you can do with it. But data reveals what's working and what's not working.
Okay. So, what role does leadership play in ensuring that growth translates into sustainable impact?
Hmm. Okay, leadership sets the vision and the culture, and culture is really, really important. How do you treat your staff? Are they paid on time? Uh, do you communicate clearly when things are not right? Are you abusive? Do you have a toxic workplace? So leaders must champion ethical practices and then long-term thinking over short-term gains and empower their teams to prioritize both profit and purpose. Are you a micromanager? They are the driving. I mean, your staff are the driving force behind sustainable, impactful growth. So you, as a leader, you are setting the vision for the team that is driving the force. Behind your impactful growth, and then you are also setting the tone for your culture as an organization. So leadership is very, very important. Because it sets the vision and the culture.
Okay. So, having touched on elevating value, scaling visibility, and multiplying impact, how do they work together in a coherent business growth strategy?
I would say not the same mama born them. They are symbiotic. They are Siamese twins. Which are more than Siamese. They are symbiotic. So elevating value, I mean, it creates better product and service that customers talk about, naturally boosting visibility. So increased visibility, when coupled with a strong value proposition, allows you to reach more people and multiply your positive impact. So it's a virtuous, not vicious, it's a virtuous cycle against a vicious cycle. So elevating value creates a better product or service that customers will talk about, which naturally boosts visibility. Then increased visibility, coupled with strong value proposition, will now allow you to reach more people again
Impactful.
and multiply your positive impact. So it's a virtuous cycle against a vicious cycle.
Yes, in that sense, is there
Mm.
any risk or trade-off? Because you can end up focusing more on one more than the other at the
Mhm,
expense of maybe
mhm.
neglecting others. What are the risks?
Uh, Focusing on only on visibility without strong value It's like building a house on sand, right? It looks good, but it won't last. They're just all shine, all glitz, and without any strong value. You attract
Okay.
customers, but customers they won't stay. They'll feel you, and then they'll say no. This was
They
just
come and go.
flash in the pan. Yeah. So neglecting impact can lead to reputational damage and missed opportunities, of course, for long-term sustainable growth. It's about balance. You have to balance it.
Okay. So it's important
Yeah.
to balance,
Yes.
especially that you have described them as
Mm.
symbiotic,
It's
so that
symbiotic. Yes.
you don't
Mm.
put too much reliance on one at the expense of the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's quite good. Are there
Mhm.
industry specific nuances to applying the business markup concept effectively?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, in agriculture now, markup might mean increasing yield sustainably, right? Or even better storage, or even route to market and all of that, right? Um, in tech, it's about scalable solutions. In retail, it could be enhancing the in-store experience. We've gotten customers into the store. What's the in-store experience? Because it will define a whole lot of things. So the core principle of adding value and impact still remains, but the how differs by industry. You know.
Okay. How can traditional businesses adopt this mindset without losing their heritage or core identity?
Mm, the short English is that it's not about abandoning heritage but evolving it. I will say that it's a bit tough for traditional businesses because sometimes they don't have the expertise for some of these things, or even like the capacity, the staff that understand. But a traditional fabric seller, in this case, might create digital lookbooks, and send it to you when you ask on WhatsApp, a PDF lookbook, or they can partner with designers to reach new markets. You have the fabric guys, you have the designers. Sometimes the designers don't have money to buy fabric. So is there a partnership there where the fabric guys can say, oh, you know what, you have potential. We've seen your numbers. We'll give you fabric when you sell. So a traditional fabric seller might create digital books, partner with designers to reach new markets while maintaining the quality and cultural significance of their textiles. It's about innovation that respects the roots. And I think I even have examples. There are two brands that do this very well. Dialab and then this is us. They make their fabric in Katsina and I think Kano. That they weave the cotton in Katsina. Funtua, they use Funtua cotton. I think this is us and Dialab. I'm not very very sure, but I think they also produce in the north and a couple of other businesses. And we've seen it with the explosion of Ashoke, right? So everybody's wearing Ashoke now. So their adoptions. Children of these traditional businesses, even innovators in the space, are helping traditional businesses navigate and then reach global audiences. So it's innovative, but it still respects the roots, and we're still telling the stories, the local stories. Yeah. So,
So, what real life example illustrates the successful application of this business markup model that you know?
hmm, there are a lot, though. I think I just mentioned a few,
Yeah,
but let's
sure.
say Paystack. Paystack. Let's take Paystack now. We all know Paystack. They elevated value by simplifying online payments. Uh, Once I see Paystack on the website or a vendor sends me a, a payment link, sorry, a payment link, there's trust. They simplified online payments. They scaled visibility through strategic partnerships, and when they grew to a particular level that they needed to be taken to another, they didn't hesitate, to be bought. They were open to being bought, and they were bought. And then they multiplied their impact by empowering countless Nigerian SMEs. Even Flutterwave, they expanded their payment solutions in Kenya. They boosted visibility globally, and then I mean that led to significantly impacting cross-border trade for African businesses. We all know that one of the challenges of African businesses is cross-border payment. These two businesses have really, really helped, especially like Flutterwave across Africa. Paystack is top tier when it comes to payments in Nigeria, and there are many, many others like them that are not payments related.
Okay. Are there common pitfalls to avoid in all this that we've discussed in terms of confusing activity with productivity or focusing on only external visibility while neglecting internal capacity? Are there pitfalls that we need to know?
I'll still go back to balance, and then also keep your eyes on regulators and then regulatory, guidelines. And it's not just when I say regulatory, a lot of people would think, oh, the first thing we would think of CBN, FIRS, and FIRS is not even regulatory. But something as simple as while you're doing this, especially digital, you have a form on your website. You need to consider NDPC, which is the data protection guys. If you collect data in any form, you need to register a website. So there are a lot of things to consider depending on your industry, right, or the kind of business you have. So pitfalls, I won't necessarily. So I'll marry pitfalls and challenges. Some of the things, most of the things we discussed today, you can hire experts to do if you don't have the capacity in house. So the price, the cost of getting those expertise and even the availability of the expertise, I'll take it as a challenge. So I'll say, if you focus on business markup and you do it ethically within all of the things we've discussed, I think you can avoid most of the pitfalls. But do not neglect regulatory, regulators and regulatory
Very,
guidelines.
very important.
Yeah,
Very
very, very
important
important.
for
Very.
your sustainability.
Yes. So.
They can get you to pack up anything.
Yes. So. Yes.
So
So.
with all this uh, information, what would you consider as a call to action for businesses in, on this topic? What would be your call to action?
So my call to action would be start now. It's never too late, but start from the top down. Walk it back to the beginning. You're an 11-year-old organization. You're making a lot of money. But you know that there's capacity for growth. Take it back. What's your brand positioning? What's your brand's purpose? Why did you even start the business in the first place? You and your shareholders, or your partners, or yourself if you're a solo person. Be true to yourself. What are your limitations, and where can you get experts to come in? Right? Uh, is it time for you to hand over to somebody else to do, or do you need younger people to come in? And then what's your workplace culture like? Are you a micromanager? Are you kind to people that work with you? Do you trust them enough to hand over the reins and then provide guidance? There are a lot of things to consider, but to start is just to start now. To have that conversation with yourself, with your partners, to say, this is where we are, this is where we want to be. What are the things? What are the recipes for growth and for success? And just begin. That's my call to action.
Thank you. Now, that will probably include what they need to upgrade, either themselves or the business, the process, and their
Yeah.
presence in the marketplace. So all that impacts the future they desire.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much. So if you have a parting shot on this topic, what would that be?
uh, well, I'll go back to the same thing. Have the right systems in place, build processes, trust those processes. You can refine them, but trust, the systems you've built and the processes. At the beginning, please get the right people in to advise. Even if you're an expert yourself, just get a second opinion, and then trust the processes. You can refine them, and then let the systems do their work. You know.
I will just add this at the tail end because I know some people can identify with this. In some businesses now, um, entrepreneurs are at a loss because yes, employees they want more money, but the the productivity or maybe their capacity to add value is in fact on the decline. What would you recommend to an entrepreneur that's at a crossroad for such situation? Because you need these employees for you to remain in business anyway. But it's just that the market is like static in terms of good hands. What would be your advice in terms of this topic that you have talked about creating value, visibility, impact? When your business is growing is when you can think of impact.
Impact, yes, of course. It's tough. I won't lie to you. Sometimes brutal honesty with ourselves is the beginning. You see businesses that can't really afford to pay more than three people. They have 9, 10, 12 staff because they don't want to be seen as
Micro.
as not doing well, right? And then you're owing staff 3, 6, 8, and in across many of our religions, that's even a no, right? You can't owe people salaries. So if you need to cut, be very upfront with them to say, the business can afford this, but when things get better. Then another thing especially small businesses do this. I've seen some big businesses do it where you don't define the scope of the work. You employ someone to do A, and then you have them doing A, B, C, D, E, right? Which you are you think you're cheating them, but you have a member of staff that is not happy, right? They're showing up for work because they need the money, so they're not putting out the best. So the business is not benefiting from that person's possible creativity and giftedness, right? So you employ them to do A, and then you have them doing A to Z, and then maybe delaying salaries, and then in getting the best out of people. I know it's a tough climate right now for businesses. What else can you add that is not salary, right? Can they potentially close earlier so that maybe they can do something else? Or can you even encourage them to pick up a skill or two, outside of your work? Do you really need staff to come in 6, 7 days a week? Can you rotate them, so that they have better quality of life? Can you run shifts, so that work-life balance is there? Can you afford to do health insurance? There are a couple of states health insurance now, like Lagos State has health insurance that are affordable for businesses. Do you want to consider pension contribution, no matter how little, so that people just feel like there's something else they're getting outside of salary? Because to be quite honest, many people earn the salaries, 100% is gone to just basic needs. So they don't have anything, that they're saving with at all. So, which then, outside of providing leadership for your own business, what other leadership do you provide for them? You know, as younger people, or mostly younger people, that can they come to you with their problems that is not financial, that doesn't include you providing financial assistance. Oh, I'm going through this, I'm thinking of going to school, I want to do this course. Are you open to discussing stuff like that with them? So there are so many other ways. And I think at the core of it, I'll say just be very humane and be human to people and think of them first. Yeah,
God, it's a tough call out there.
it
It's a
is.
tough call. Yeah, but you
It
are
is.
quite right in your response, and I hope some people would have gained one word or two to help them in their businesses, because that's part of why we're here to see where we can make suggestions that can better their lot. So I want to appreciate you highly, Shola, for all these great insights that you have helped us to share on this very important topic. I appreciate you, and I'm
Thank you for
sure
having me.
our audience are also glad to have you. You've spoken quite frankly to the topic, and giving quite a lot of example, real life example that people that resonate with people. Thank you. So I will just round up most of the things that could have come into the wrap up we have taken, but it's important for us, like the aspect we ended up with, uh, strategic leverages on people, process, and platform. It's important for us to understand that we need people, we need to build and empower our team that carries our brand values. For the process, we need to streamline operation for excellence and scalability. Don't bite more than what you can chew. And there's no need to want to impress beyond your ability. It can lead to a crash. So the platform also, there are tools that you can use, channel to amplify what you do, and maybe on a cheaper scale. So those are the things that we can help our business with. We've touched on the pitfalls, possible pitfalls, so we should try to avoid them. So the important thing for us is to make sure that we look at what we need to upgrade. If we need to upgrade ourselves, let us do so. If it is our process, let us do likewise to make sure that we achieve that desire to create value, scale up our visibility, and of course, make impact in our society. So, having explored the importance of not just running a business, but of growing it deliberately, adding layers of value that set us apart, shining the spotlight on our uniqueness to remain visible in an overcrowded marketplace, and building structures that ensure our efforts lead to lasting impact. The call is clear. It's time to move beyond survivor mode into strategic excellence. It's time for us to elevate the worth of what we offer, amplify our reach through innovation and storytelling, as well as multiplying our influence in ways that benefit not just our bottom lines, but our communities and the next generation. I hope we have all gained one or two things through this conversation today. I would like to appreciate all those that join us online. I was able to pick one or two names. I saw Larry join us, maybe streaming from Lagos, I want to believe. Larry King, and a few others as well. Then Oyinkansola Oluwa Seyi Fumi, thank you very much for joining us today on Connect with Comfort Show. So I hope you have benefited from what we have been able to bring out. So if you have enjoyed this episode as well as I have done, I hope you remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo. Once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button, like and share our videos. Stay updated with information about our upcoming events, solutions, and offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook account at Comfort Eyitayo. Till I come, excuse me, till I come your way again, let us mark up our mindset, our methods, our mission, and not settle for mediocrity when excellence is within our reach. Go forth and elevate, scale, and multiply. Thank you once again for joining us and for your commitment to growth as well as to this show. God bless you.